Hey everybody, this is Toshiro, Tactical Hyve, and we're going to be talking about the Arken scope. Hey, just so you guys understand, I did receive the scope free from the guys at Arken, but they didn't know I was with Tactical Hyve at the time. They were just doing it because of my time as an instructor at the schoolhouse. They knew who I was and they decided, hey, do you want to try the scope out? And so I took it, and you know, this has been my first opportunity to actually get out there and talk about the scope with you. I've shot it a little bit. I've shot it quite a bit, actually. It seems to be a very durable scope. Of course, I haven't put any tests to it. I think on their website, if you go there, they have some information on its durability. So the Arken scope, it's not a high-end scope. It's actually very affordable for the type of scope that it is. And it is comparable to your higher-end scopes like a Night Force or something like that. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as a Night Force, but it does the same job and it does it very well. Okay, so let's talk about the scope in Arken Optics. Arken Optics is a fairly new scope company with some young talent. In fact, one of the guys who works for Arken and is Arken, technically, he was a former SEAL sniper. He went through the same course that I went through, and he got out and he teamed up with some people and they came up with making scopes, and they came out with a very well thought out scope for an operator's ability to pay for it. Okay, so they're really reasonable priced. This is a 5 to 25 power scope that runs $500. If you were to do something like that with like a Leopold or a Night Force, you're going to be spending quite a bit more for what this scope does. And I haven't tested out the durability as compared to a high-end scope, but as far as accuracy, it works just as good. There's some really neat features on this scope. It has a zero stop that is really easy to use, unlike the Night Force. Night Force is easy to use, but this is much easier and I think works just as well. It has illuminated reticle, and it has 25 minutes of turret. Arken also makes, you know, throw levers for changing the variable power. It's got weapon levelers, scope levelers, and then illuminated reticle. The scope is in MOA and quarter-minute increments. I personally like MOA, so that's what I've gone with. And it has a drop-down reticle, so you can do holds in this scope well out as far as your gun can shoot. And this particular gun is a 300 Win Mag with an 18-inch barrel, and I'm shooting 220 grain and 130 grain burger out of this gun. It goes out past 1,500 yards in such a short package, and this scope makes that happen. You can buy it as a package with all the little extra stuff to include the scope rings, I believe, and this unimount is a 20-minute of angle unimount, and for a 30mm tube. And I mean, it's rock solid. Everything about this scope so far, I still have to do a lot more shooting with it to make sure that it'll hold up. But for the price and what this scope can do, pretty amazing. The other thing about this, so if you take a look at these scope rings, you know, it's awesome. It tells you how many inch-pounds you're supposed to tighten the screws down. It's written right on the scope rings. I think a lot of companies are doing that now, and that really does help, guys. And then it also, if you look on it, it shows how many inch-pounds you're supposed to use for the mount. The scope caps actually fold all the way back. They hold on pretty good. I just took them off so you guys can see them. And they got good scope caps that come with it. So for $500, around the $500 mark. So when I received this scope, it was around $500. I don't know what the prices are today at this date. So you'd have to go to their website and check it out. But hey man, if you're looking for a good scope that you can shoot long range and have confidence that it's going to retain its zero, take a look at Arken Optics. They have a lot of good equipment there.